good.
Catch these knives.
I mean, it's very impressive.
That's what he was doing, really.
So good.
Yep. He's done that in like every game since. He does it in every Call of Duty game.
Since Black Ops, I think.
Black Ops, yeah.
I did love the headline of the article that I was reading it.
Without firing a bullet.
Yeah, it was like, guy gets the prestige without firing a bullet, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. It's like, oh, but he did stab people.
Oh,
with knives.
he killed lots of people.
Like, it sounds like it's like a pacifist drug.
Yeah,
It's like no,
they're very dead.
no. He killed like 32,000 people, but he did it with knives, which I think is actually worse.
Saw King Gizzard in Brighton. We threw the lead singer into the sea.
I'm glad you guys are taking my advice for throwing things into the sea. But don't throw them into the sea until I can see them in June. Then toss them in with the crustaceans and the mollusks as you see fit.
I believe he did not use any grenades, nor did he use any damaging, like airstrike
Supers
things
or whatever.
Yeah, he used the like scouting ones, but not the damaging ones.
Oh, he asked for it. All right. Well, in that case,
All right.
I'm sad that Norman Cook doesn't do the Big Beach Boutique anymore in Brighton. Those were good albums. Sorry.
right.
I've never been to a concert in Brighton, but I've been to Brighton.
yeah, it was quite nice.
Big fans of concerts there. Like actually requested it or asked for it. I guess the those might be different things.
Oh, I suppose. The smiley face made me think it was like a put me into the sea kind of thing, but in like a woo, let's get in there. Okay, so this is not CheckPoint news, but God, I wish I was still doing feed dump. The lions in Kruger National Park in South Africa have eaten a suspected big cat poacher. Apparently they left only his head and a few other remains.
So he can be identified?
Yeah, as an idiot who tried to poach lions.
Huh.
I mean, I guess it's like realistically that's probably good for. It's like it's like why are you going after lions if there's no danger of them eating you? You know, it's got to be.
Yeah.
That's what makes it exciting.
And I mean, worst case, like maybe that person wasn't a poacher, but they were stupid.
No, they were a poacher.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, it said suspected, right?
I mean,
I agree with you.
They found a gun by his body.
The article said suspected, even though it obviously was. Let me finish.
Yeah.
But at worst, he was an idiot who thought, I'm just going to get in there and muck about with the lions.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do that. No, they found a gun near his body, and he was like in a lion preserve.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
I know. Rule of law, all that.
No, it's the unless Kathleen, the bit was.
I know.
Unless I buy into the notion that it's a suspect, I can't then make a case for the alternate condition.
Yes. I just don't want anybody thinking an innocent person was eaten, because that would be terrible. I mean, an innocent and stupid person. So, because like...
Just a stupid person.
I mean, people...
Yeah, maybe the gun belonged to the lion.
It's true.
That's true.
Maybe the lion planted it.
So
maybe the lion...
Maybe they
it was a poacher.
Maybe, yeah. He came right for us.
He wasn't just a delicious fool.
Poacher.
Or maybe the guy
khaki stuck in my.
Maybe they also previously ate a poacher, and that was from what the gun was left over from. And this was a different guy that they just happened to eat in the same spot.
Yeah, they were about to eat the gun, and they were like, wait, no, save that. What? Put it behind the tree. Trust me, this will be great.
Yeah. So to talk about our stories for this week, there's an Agents of Mayhem board game coming out. It looks really cool.
It looked super neat. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh man, we got to like get one of these so we can stream it. And upon looking at it like further, I was like, this would actually be really hard to stream properly, even though it looks super neat.
You need like more cameras than we have, and we already have a lot of cameras.
I mean, we have enough cameras.
We have enough cameras.
Okay, but like
if we wanted to put the effort in.
Yeah.
So who knows? You know, and it's a Kickstarter, so you know, who knows?
But,
how
the,
it, how it will
but
do.
the company that's done the Academy Games
They've
is
done
a
other stuff.
reputable board
Yeah.
game company. They just sort of go through Kickstarter for these more high-end stuff, and they've successfully delivered on other Kickstarter campaigns, and the games were good.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not like you're just throwing money into the void. Like, Academy Games has a good track record.
But like when this game comes out, I will definitely be keeping an eye out for it and see if it actually is any good, and if it would be appropriate to stream, because it does look pretty nifty.
Mm-hmm. And I'm really pleased with the result of the Fighting is Magic, the main 6, and I'm sure that Lauren Faust showing an interest and indeed then following through and designing the characters was like a massive shot in the arm, not just publicity wise, but also like morale.
Yeah, to finish the game.
But this is why, like, this is what anybody should do, rather than being like, I'm gonna remake Chrono Trigger in 3D, or I'm gonna do a thing with this IP. No, do your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have it be close
Or
if you
inspired
want,
by,
inspired
yeah.
by, or a fan project or something, but don't use someone's literal copyrighted property, or else it'll never get made and you'll have wasted a bunch of time. This way, they get to make money on this.
Oh,
I hope.
PM Avery says she didn't just do the character; she did all the world building and writing for story mode too.
Yeah. No, she's in the credits. Like she worked on this game.
Good for them. That's just a feel good story. I hope the game is rad and like, yeah, like Stardew Valley in comparison to Harvest Moon. Yeah, draw inspiration, but don't rip off that shit. Exactly.
Yeah, I wonder what I'm curious to know what it's actually like, but I hope it's good. Yeah. There are clearly people who are fans of the things. The HQ one.
Yeah, HQ's in a tough spot because there's money on the line. There's always going to be somebody who can program, and who's like, all right, I can make a bot to like read the questions or like Google things as it's coming out, like do a text to speech thing. Like there's always going to be people who are doing that, and you're like, is it really worth it? It's like, I mean, because they pay out in American dollars. There's someone somewhere in the world with the expertise to do that, and if you can reliably make something that's going to win, the payout is going to be worth your time, right? Or people just like to just beat the system, right? And the problem is if they make the questions harder to Google by making them like sort of like two-part questions or like, compare and contrast, it makes it a lot harder for the human players because, you already only have 10 seconds from the time Scott starts reading the question. And if it's a really complicated question that you have to then take a couple seconds to figure out what he's even asking in order to get the right question, the game becomes infinitely harder for the players, right? And that's not fun, right? And they could not put the questions on screen, but that also means that deaf people can't play, or people with hearing difficulties, or you can't play unless you can sit there with your headphones in or the sound turned up somewhere, which is a bad user experience. So they're sort of in a...
Also, and then there's speech recognition or whatever. Like it's...
Yeah.
The...
Astra, they hold it in escrow until you get $20.
They changed that.
Oh, really? So do you get your $350 now?
I can. I mean, I feel like I can win another game of HQ. I've gotten close a few times. Right. Yeah, Kathleen, people cheat to get at the top of leaderboards for no reward. Of course they're going to cheat for actual money. That's right.
The trick is that if you actually do want to make money cheating at HQ, the important thing is to not make your bot like publicly available.
Yeah. Or else everyone has it, and then everyone's splitting all the money.
Yeah. Which I do like that they were able to pretty easily tell that there's like this bot was happening, because like normally there'll be like 100 people who win, and then suddenly on times when the bot got the questions right.
Oh, that's awesome, Doodles.
Like 9,000 people win, and then like the next quiz, when the bot got the questions wrong, everybody dropped out a ton of people drop out at the question that the bot got wrong. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
Sponsored questions is the main place they get their
and
their
VC funding.
Yeah, they only recently did they get VC funding though. So, and the fourth story we did was NVIDIA was like, the cryptocurrency thing was a lot bigger than we expected, and we sold a lot of graphics cards because of it. And according to NVIDIA, they're like, we are still focusing on gamers. We're telling the retailers to focus on gamers. NVIDIA's like, by the way, it's the retailers that are raising the prices. But you can also imagine, like, this was in their like investor call. But you imagine, you got to expect behind closed doors, NVIDIA's like, oh no, cryptocurrency sure is making people buy a lot of our product. What a shame.
Yeah, no kidding.
This actually reminds me of when before doing loading ray run stuff, or before I worked at a museum design company, and we were doing a promotional or donation wall thing. So it was this like old folks home had a new wing donated by somebody.
Right.
And so as part of that, they wanted to have like a thing commemorating this guy's life and how he made all his money. And how he made all his money is he was involved in the gold rush in like the Yukon.
Nice.
But he's the guy who operated the general store. That's the guy who makes the money out of the gold rush.
Yep.
Is the guy who operates the store where you buy the stuff to go to the gold rush. Nobody who went on the gold rush to get the gold is donating wings of seniors' homes.
No. No.
And this is the thing. The guys who are, supplying the graphics cards are the people who are making all the money off the Bitcoin thing.
Yeah. Oh, exactly, Soul Angel. That's 100% why they're saying that. They need to say that. They need, because gamers are annoyed that prices are up and that cards are hard to find. So NVIDIA needs to, whether they believe it or not, which I'm sure to an extent they do, because they know that cryptocurrency is potentially a fad. They need to say, like, we're focusing on you guys. Cryptocurrencies, who knows, but you guys are the important ones. On some level, they don't care. They're just happy that they're selling cards. But they know as well as anyone does that any day, they even said themselves that cryptocurrency is volatile, right? So they know that any day the whole thing would just explode. And if they made it look like they were alienating gamers, that would be terrible.
And it's also that like the reason why their like graphics cards, or especially like their like graphics cards, are good for doing cryptocurrency is largely just a sort of a coincidence in how some current cryptocurrencies calculate their hashes. For instance, Bitcoins, there's already better hardware out there to do Bitcoins rather than graphics cards. Nobody uses graphics cards anymore.
Yeah.
It's other stuff. And the same thing, so it's not even like, even if they did want to go all in on cryptocurrency, there's a big likelihood that some other cryptocurrency will come out that will make it not worthwhile to do graphics cards anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're obviously smart not to push the cryptocurrency thing too hard, but at the same time, they're probably not sad.
I don't know, Reiner. I think it's gone down a lot. How much is one Bitcoin worth?
That would be $11,040.44.
Okay, no, it's still around. Okay, so it's $11,000 US.
Jesus.
And as Bitcoin goes, so does the rest of the cryptocoin market in a lot of cases. Anyway.
So, stories that we didn't cover in the show.
Scarlett's having a real good year in StarCraft 2.
Scarlett won the IEM, the IEM in Pyeongchang, which was the Intel Extreme Masters, co-sponsored by the International Olympic Committee, that took place in Pyeongchang just before the Olympics. It's also Scarlett's first international event that she's won, the first woman to ever win an IEM.
And she's Canadian.
And she's Canadian.
Yeah. Mostly awesome because she's Canadian.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that Scarlett's victory is pretty historic for the reasons we just outlined, but it's also probably good for if you want esports integrated into more of these kind of things, because what the Olympic Committee will be looking for these kind of things is, are these is there actually international level competition for this? And having Scarlett win is oh hey, women can win it top contender was a woman from Canada, or I know she doesn't train in Canada, but hey, so this seems to be a healthy international scene, so that's rad. So Yeah, she's a very, very good pro StarCraft player. So
They're adding some years after launch. They're adding. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Robert Merlo. I guess that's sort of underselling it. It wasn't just that she won; it's that she won 4-0 against SOS, who's like one of the most decorated StarCraft pros ever. It was.
So it's kind of an upset.
I saw someone tweet about it, and that the finals were starting. It was like Scarlet versus SOS, and I was like, oh shit, Scarlet's in the finals. I'll go watch that. And so I watched the whole finals. It was awesome.
And I think and I think she did just like squeak into the finals. Like there was some question about whether she would make it into the finals.
Yeah.
And then it was just to go in and total upset. Yeah.
They're adding a voice chat to Heroes of the Storm, and people are wary.
yeah.
Put it that
Mixed.
way.
Let's
Mixed
be.
response.
I don't think that's an unreasonable stance to take from players. I think that they're right to be wary.
It's an interesting idea. The idea that you can like adding something which assuming it was used the way it's supposed to be used would make the game better. It was like, yay, everyone wants this. Let's do it. But the problem is that it's in the real world, unfortunately, it is not necessarily always used in the most sort of positive of ways.
I saw a very similar discussion pop up on the Destiny subreddit recently, and it's basically the debate between opt-in or opt-out chat. And as a console Destiny player, I'm used to opt-in. When Destiny launched, there was no chat.
No chat.
And then you had to, which was great. And then you had to opt into it, and which is fine.
So first there was no chat, and then they added chat.
There was Fireteam. Sorry, to be clear, there was Fireteam chat. So if you,
But that's like a thing that you set up with your friends.
yeah, like if I went, hey Paul, let's play Destiny, and Paul joined my game or I joined his game, then there was voice chat there. But
Right.
there was no team chat. There was no global chat. They added that later. And it's opt-in. But now that it's on PC, people are going, well, this is just how it's done on PC. Whenever you log in, you see a chat room full of garbage, you hear people saying awful things, and you opt out, because that's how it's done on PC. And personally, I think that's horseshit. And it should never, ever, ever be opt-out. It should always be opt-in. And the argument against is that, but then people might not know it's there, or they might miss it. And I'm like, I don't give a shit.
What is there to miss?
I don't care, because the negative to my play experience is huge. If I log in and have people screaming bullshit at me, if they added opt-out voice chat to Destiny, even if you only have to turn it off once, not worth it.
Really?
It's awful.
Yeah, but you turn, like, if it stays off, can't you just turn it off and then it is, you opted out? And
Yeah,
now it's not,
but it's still a bad experience for the user.
for, I guess, for a new player, I guess.
Yeah,
And the thing is,
yeah, imagine
the
you go
argument-
in and the first thing you hear is something like super misogynist or racist. It ruins your day.
It's also-
like, that's crap. You shouldn't have to be exposed to that.
It's also just the main argument is just like, well, it's PC, so this is how it has to be done. And it's like, it's not though. You can change how the paradigm is.
But I mean, the interesting thing though about the Heroes of the Storm is that like opt-in and opt-out wouldn't actually change the argument at all.
No.
Because their point is that its existence is what does it. Because like they're saying like, yes, you can opt out, or you can, or even if it was like only an opt-in thing, the people who opt in would have a distinct advantage, like something like that where it is a competitive game, such a high-level team competitive game. That means that the people who opt in have a distinct advantage. Or if you don't like the chat or are getting harassed or whatever, and you decide to not even opt out of chat completely, but just mute specific people, you're still now, theoretically, if those people actually do have something interesting to say at some later date about the actual game state, you're going to miss that. And so the idea is that it is that opt-in or opt-out doesn't actually solve the problem in this circumstance. In this circumstance, its very existence makes it so that you basically have to have it. You have to be using it, otherwise you're at a disadvantage, which is kind of crappy.
Yeah. Even just having a thing, you know, what'd be better is to just have like literally as part of like initial setup. Could ask you, you know, like do it that way rather than have it just default on.
I mean, I guess that's opt-in, I guess.
But that would skirt then the argument that if it's opt-in, someone might miss it. Anyway.
What is there to miss?
Yeah, I mean, I get that seems like I get the argument that it's like, you know, all the other PC games do it in one way, and so doing it in a different way might be a little confusing for people. But yeah, that somebody would sort of not understand that there is chat.
Yeah.
It seems odd.
Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition.
Apparently it's quite good.
Yeah.
It looks great.
I might play it.
If you, so here's heads up though. If you're interested in playing it, here's the pricing structure.
Which is, yeah.
So there's 10 chapters that are basically chapters of the full game and the voice acting from the full game, but sort of condensed in cheapified into, that was not cheapified, sorry, chibi.
Chibi-fied.
C-H-I-B-I, chibi-fied, little men's.
Chibi-fied or chibi-ified?
Chibi-ified, chibifified, chibbaladoofified.
Super deformed.
Super deformed, thanks Beach. Into 10...
Not very polite.
10 chapters in a mobile game. The first one's free. So the first chapter is free. Chapters 2 and 3 are $1 if you buy them ad hoc, and then 4 through 10 are $4 each. Or you can buy the whole thing for $20. So it's $20 or $30.
Basically, if you play the first chapter for free and you like it, you definitely want to go for the $20.
I think so.
Here's
Here's CheckPoint's consumer advice.
Yeah. I mean, hell, if you're not quite sure, it's still better to buy the first 3 chapters. Like, spend the $2 to get the first 3 chapters.
Yeah.
And then if you like it, it's still better to buy the $20 thing.
Yeah. Even if you think you might play it.
Yeah. But apparently it's really nice.
What's cool about it is, you know, like I've seen a couple people were mentioning the, you know, not really getting, or either like getting Final Fantasy 15, not having time to play it or not getting into it. And apparently that's the thing about it. It's like, it is Final Fantasy 15. It follows the same story. It has most of the same cutscenes, but just in the style that they're doing it. And it's more sort of linear. Like there isn't really that many side quests and stuff. But for people who don't have time to, you know, do the 60-hour game or get, you know, don't like that sort of, like I find it sometimes for me that's the like open world thing. You just kind of get off track and distracted and you're like, I don't really know what I'm doing with this game. And so, and it's got like the combat system. Apparently the article I was reading said they liked it better than the sort of real version. So it sounds like a neat idea to sort of streamline, but keep in mind though, that it is like the whole story for Final Fantasy 15. So
It's a long game.
and it will also like theoretically, I guess, spoil Final Fantasy 15 for you if you.
But maybe that's the way you want to play it.
Yeah.
It's you are effectively playing Final Fantasy 15. So keep that in mind.
Did you look into this one?
Yeah, this is the Pokemon Go EX raids. This is kind of a follow-up from a story we didn't do last week, but I'll just update. Last week in the post-show, we talked about how EX raids are this like really sort of opaque, confusing system about like it's really like not clear how to get an invite, and then they changed the way people get invites, so people will get more invites. But anecdotally, the problem was that people were getting invites to gyms that they had visited like once on vacation. And then this happened to a very high-profile streamer and to Adam Hancock, who finally got his EX raid invite for Valencia, Spain, where he was this summer. He was so salty. My best friend Adam is a very serious Pokemon Go player and has, all of the legendaries except Mewtwo. and he got an EX-Raid invite and was so excited, and then was like,
I mean, how
and then
serious can
texted
he
me
be?
immediately.
How serious can he be, really, if he's not willing to take
go
a
back to
little trip
Valencia.
over to Spain?
Him of all people.
He can afford to get there, I guess.
He's the sort of person that might.
No, he can't. He can't. Like, even Adam can't be like taking a week off work to go do one Pokemon raid.
At that point, you just find somebody in Spain, ship them your phone.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, just give them your login info. They do it for you.
So yeah, so that I can like, it's an update to basically what we happened. It happened to a high-profile streamer and someone I know. Billy Mitchell, who we talked about last week, sort of this like knock-on effect from evaluating all of the old, maybe less rigorously recorded video game high record scores, says that he just needs to release the tape and everyone will believe him. And he gave kind of a lengthy and confusing interview that I had a hard time parsing to a friend of his on like his friend's radio show. And then I was like, wait, what is he trying to say? And then I realized I don't care. Whatever.
Like the guy who originally sort of did this expose on the thing, like, and he's like, I listened to the interview, and basically the only way that what he's saying could possibly have happened is if somebody like did a run of Donkey Kong that matched his run perfectly, but did it on MAME rather than because like he's saying that he admits that the video looks like it was done on MAME, which was the problem, and yet he's saying that isn't his run, even though that's the video that he showed as his run.
Do you see that? See that little purple check mark next to TQ's name?
Did TQ
there?
get partner?
That's what that check mark means.
Oh, congratulations! Yay, TQ!
That's awesome.
Yay!
I'm so happy. That's so cool. That's so cool. Good job, TQ.
So
You did it, kid.
anyway,
Now let's blow this thing and go home. Is that the rest of that line?
I think
You're
so.
all clear, kid. That's the
Yeah.
one. Okay. That's so exciting. All hearts everywhere. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled program. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
so
Congratulations.
anyways, it would be highly improbable if this video was somehow not his playthrough, even though it was the video that was put forward as his playthrough, and it looks like his playthrough.
Yeah.
It's rather silly.
Yeah, who cares?
A Division player was banned, which kind of sucks, and you'll hear why. So he's a Finnish physics student named Matti Hatanen.
That sounds like a very Finnish name.
And he made a plugin called Cinematic Tools, which is for taking screenshots and like cool shots in the Division, which is a beautiful game.
Apparently, he's made these plugins for a couple different games.
Yeah,
too.
and so it sort of works by like undocking the camera from your character, and you can move it around and control it, and there's filters and stuff, and it's super, super cool. Unfortunately, the way the tech involved with doing that means that it runs afoul of, making cheats for the game. It's just like
Right, unplugging the camera from your character has some other uses. I mean, like, he is using it to take good screenshots, but it's also used to see through walls and stuff like that.
So there's a potential for a happy ending, which we'll get to. But basically, it's like, he's made some amazing photos in the Division, which again is a gorgeous game. But it's like, yeah, that's fair, right? It's like, obviously this technology could be used to cheat, so sure. But the best part is the message from Ubisoft. We have detected recurring actions on your account which are in direct breach of our code of conduct. Okay. Please be aware we have taken the necessary steps to preserve the play experience for others, and this has resulted in you receiving a permanent ban. You will therefore be unable to play Tom Clancy's The Division. It's not, we've banned you. It's, we have taken steps, and that resulted in you receiving a ban, as an aside. It's just, the passive voice we found very funny.
Yeah. A ban occurred, says Mr. Flip.
Whoops! All bans. The possible happy ending is that Julian Garrity, Ubisoft's creative director, actually reached out to him on Twitter and was like, "Hey, you do really cool stuff. I'd like to see more of it." And when Hetanen said that what he was doing wasn't intended to facilitate cheating or otherwise harm the community, the creative director responded in agreement. So hopefully they'll be able to work something out. But at least it's not like get into the sea.
This reminds me actually a little bit of remember back in the day when you guys did Magic Online streaming. There's that like little utility or whatever that made it so that people could like look at your draft.
Yeah, the
like
draft viewer. The voter. Yeah,
yeah,
that was super cool.
But the thing is, like, how that worked was that it intercepted the stream of information being sent from the Magic client to the server, and read the data out of that and used it on the website.
And guess what?
Which is exactly what you would want to do if you wanted to, for example, find out what all of your opponent's cards are, or change what you're doing, or do all sorts of change your life total, or do whatever. And that stopped working because Wizards was like, hey, maybe we should encrypt that data, and they did.
Yeah.
But it's that same thing where it's like the same tools that are used to cheat can be used for all sorts of interesting other things that aren't cheating, but the company has to actually acknowledge that it's like the vast majority of like unlocks for Apple phones. It's like Apple doesn't really care if you jailbreak their phone, but they do care that the vast majority of things that people do to jailbreak your phone can also be used to like hack a phone and
compromise all the user information
security,
without you being aware of that happening.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hey, there's a new Tomb Raider game.
Which
for arcades, it's a 4-player light gun game, and it's apparently based on Rabbids Hollywood, so it's not like really a Tomb Raider game.
Rabbids?
Rabbids Hollywood, according to this Kotaku article.
Yeah.
And it's released to coincide with the movie that's coming out in March. Do you know there's a Tomb Raider movie coming out in March? I had forgotten.
Yeah.
With Alicia Vikander.
It looks kind of cool, actually.
Mostly I just remember when the poster was released, everyone was like, why is her neck so long? And then and then people were like,
I think that's just what her neck looks like.
She has a long neck? And they're like, oh.
It was a little weird Photoshop.
It was. Yeah.
But
so don't get your hopes up for that.
But yeah, this game, it's like being released only in one particular chain of arcades.
But hey, new Tomb Raider.
It's like a light gun game, so
it's probably not
great. Sorry. In a question and answer session held after Nintendo's latest quarterly financial briefing, investors asked company executives to discuss potential issues they're facing now that the Switch is entering its second year on the market. I'm just reading a Polygon article. This is a quote. The marketing strategy going forward is to instill a desire to purchase Nintendo Switch among a wide consumer base in all the regions of Japan, the US, and Europe, Nintendo creative fellow Shigeru Miyamoto stated. Our ultimate ambition is for a Nintendo Switch to be owned not just by every family.
Not just by every family.
But by every single person.
And not just every single person, dogs and cats as well.
So, like
Switch in every pot.
You might think that this is like a water is wet. Nintendo, talks about how they want to sell lots of Switches during earnings call. But like the idea behind it, if you read the Polygon article, is that Nintendo wants the sort of like Switch ubiquity that like the 3DS had. Like, because right now, we share a Switch.
Yeah.
Switch ubiquity.
Right? So if you're playing Mario, I can't play another game. I can't play like
Rabbids or
I don't know, what did Hello Neighbors coming out next week on the Switch or something. The idea being that they want to position the Switch as it's like something that like Graham and I would each own a Switch. And then we could play together. And then they could make the kind of games that require like lots of Switches or like sort of like community mode and stuff like that. So like they're definitely, when I hear that, I'm like, boy, is a 3DS or now just the DS, that's dead. It's dead as a doornail because that's the DS's market share, is this personal video game thing that you can take with you.
Yeah.
Right? The Switch is not a home console the same way the PS4 is a home console, and they don't want to position it that way.
And it's part of that whole the thing with like this with the Switch being kind of modular.
Yeah.
You know, like if you had 2 Switches, that's also you have 4 Joy-Cons. That's also you have 2 docking stations.
Yeah.
You know, you can sort of mix and match things a little bit.
They're in an interesting position with the Switch because they're not.
I believe it's even more popular than the Wii was. So
Yeah, they're also like. They're not actually. On some level, there is if your household can only afford a console, then on some level there is a tension between it or a PS4 or an Xbox One or something. But the Switch is not really competing with the PS4 or the Xbox One. They're sort of on their own.
Yeah.
I mean, I would argue they're competing more than the Wii and the Wii U did.
Yeah, probably.
Like the Wii and the Wii U were like totally off on their own, whereas
Yeah.
the Switch can actually run mostly other games.
Yeah. Yeah, and like there are some very high profile like single player sort of like I want to play this on a big screen
Yeah,
game
they've already
experiences.
outsold the Wii U.
Oh,
yeah, well that's not that
Yeah,
hard.
but they've also they're also outselling. They haven't outsold it, but they're also
they're
selling faster than the Wii, which at the time was the best-selling console of all time.
Oh, Lord Hosk says we are a Switch family. We will not buy another console.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're not competing on like my PS4. My Switch is plugged in. I would actually say the PS4 is a fantastic home console because not only does it play a variety of very good games, it is an excellent media server.
We're using it for what they said they wanted people to use it for in their original like E3 announcement.
Yeah.
Like it's plugged into our TV. We play video games on it from time to time, but we also have apps for Twitch, YouTube, Netflix, and Amazon Prime Video, and that's most of what we do on it.
But honestly, it works great for that.
It really does.
It's basically booted the Apple TV to like trash tier.
Except for this week.
Because this
'Cause
week's
it's the
Olympics
Olympics.
week.
I mean, yeah. The problem with that, though, as like a thing, is that like basically every media device can do that now.
Yeah.
Has apps for those things now,
Yeah.
right? So it's just,
But the PS4 is actually just a very good like iteration of it.
but like it's not a good. It's not good as a differentiating factor for your device, right?
No, but like that's what Sony said they wanted it to be both a video game console and like people's primary media consumption device, and I'd say achieved. And I think part of the reason why the PS4 has been dominant is because it is a very good media consumption device. So even when you're not playing your PS4, you're still using the PS4. So you're like, do I get this game on Xbox or PS4? It's like, oh, I gotta like change the HDMI inputs if I want to use the Xbox. I'll just get it on PS4. That's the one that's always plugged in anyhow, right? Like, that's,
But like the
I think it gives it
Xbox
a
One
market
has all
edge.
those apps as well.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is I think the PS4 is good at it and like it's very good, surprisingly good. Because like I said, we had a competing product that we used more before we got the PS4, right?
Yeah,
And,
like in
you
some
know,
ways, I would sort of argue it's like the other way around. Like I do all that on my PS3 because I don't have a PS4 at home. But the main reason why I do that is because I'm playing games on my PS3. Like I have about 4 devices plugged into my TV that could view those apps. The PS4 is the one that or the PS3 happens to be the one that's plugged in right now, so that's the one I use. But anyway.
Yeah, basically a lot of people in chat being like, yeah, the PS4 is a way smoother experience than any other smart whatsoever entertainment systems. And the PS4 being like largely agnostic means that you do get all the competing services, right? Which is nice.
I think.
The Panda Man says, I have been debating buying a second Switch for my fiance so I don't have to share mine.
Let's see. Oh, there was the one other story that I quite liked was somebody is making. There's a game being made by a guy named Matt Phillips is making a game called Tanglewood for the Sega Genesis.
Oh, yeah.
Now, and this isn't like he's going to make like a ROM hack for the Sega Genesis. He's actually making a game that's full original game, and then he has contacted a company in China that can do the cases, like has the molds to do the
Oh yeah, right.
cases.
Right.
He has a guy in Canada that can do the PCBs for it. Which, by the way, that is
Yeah, like that's
all official mention of this person who's doing the PCBs is a guy in Canada.
because that's how he wants to be known, like online. That's his Twitter account and everything.
Yeah. So apparently there's a guy in Canada who can do Genesis PCBs. But the best part about it is he talked to Sega to sort of get their blessing on it.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, can we do this? And can you certify it? Because just like Nintendo back in the day,
Right.
Sega had the Sega seal. There's like a little gold starburst thing in the corner of things. And he's like, can I get my game certified? And they're like, we don't have the people who do that anymore.
Yeah, we don't know what that process is.
Which is awesome.
Just
Although I
imagine
do
them, like,
love
looking around in like the bottom of a filing cabinet, being like, I think we got to roll the stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like at this point Sega is like a few people making Sonic games that nobody is going to be happy with.
Sonic Team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we call them.
The guy who gets updates from Atlas every once in a while and says, "Oh, you're doing what now?" Yeah, okay, like people seem to like it, keep doing it, I guess. Oh, another royalty check, thank you, yes.
Yeah.
Right? And two other people who answered these kind of emails.
Yakuza.
Oh, and Yakuza.
Yakuza.
Right, Sega makes
That's
Yakuza.
actually doing very well
And
for
the
them.
Yakuza team.
Yeah.
I forgot that they made Yakuza.
Also, I like...
I can see Heather playing on her Switch right now. It truly is the new 3DS.
We started at 2 PST. Not 5.
3 o'clock.
It's not even 5
3
PST
o'clock
now.
Eastern
Yeah,
time.
well, that would be bad
It
because
would've
I
been
have
five-
stuff
it
to
would've-
do before we
Would
start
have
Dice
been 5
Friends.
o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah.
Dice Friends.
What do you mean? What do you mean 5 PST, 2 o'clock LRR time? Where in the ocean do you think we are? Do you think we're transmitting from a barge?
Ooh, we're like one of them like micronations. We've declared ourselves an independent
Yes.
Lurtopia.
Doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah. Although, I do actually, just like that crap shot we did with the guy on the LucasArts hint line, I do like the idea that there's somebody, the certification team is still actually in existence at Sega, and they're like, "Ah, a new game to certify! Yay!
Break out the stickers!
Break out we've wanted to certify a game so much. It's, okay, it was
The
fine.
stamp's out of ink.
No! Anyway, we should
wrap it up.
Yep.
thank some people.
Yeah.
We should.
Let's thank some people who's gonna eat
Thank-
food. I'm hungry.
Thank all the people who have subscribed to Loading Ready Run, but in particular,
These
we
people.
want to thank these people who have subscribed during the stream today,
Start us off, G.
starting with this person who's not coming. Wait. Starting with
Eventually we're gonna get to 69-month resubs. Think about that. Think about the jokes and how tired they will become.
Damn it. I was so close. Just hold.
That's what he's doing. He's being remarkably consistent. Should I tickle him or something to throw him off his game?
That could be fun.
Damn it. You really got me. Master Toenail
Oh, I was paying attention.
with a 4-month resub. Welcome back and thank you.
Bapper slapping for 49 months.
The Panda Man 2000 with a 13-month resub. 13 months. Where does the time go?
Iceberg Man for 8 months.
Blutnix, brand new sub. Welcome to the channel.
Jacob and Smith.
Jacob Dan Smith, 12 months. Kimpatsu, 16 months. Checking points and pointing at checks. Yeah.
Natimus Prime with a 24-month resub. 18 Weagles in the trench coat. Yep, seems legit.
Sarosis is a new subscriber. Welcome.
So,
Crepto Cryptocopter for 15 months says 15 months, that's almost as long as it takes to come up with an original joke for a sub-message.
Takes
Ouch.
much longer than that. Eiko and Mog. I'm actually very invested in your 49-month return, thank you.
Hey, it's a Weagle for
Yeah.
17 months. Weagles are banned for the Olympics, man. And here I was waiting to win figure skating medal.
No, they just can't compete under the Snor's flag.
Space Potato 01 for 31 months says, people, please, it's pronounced like strobe light, but with a P instead of a B and waffle instead of light. This has been a waffle-related PSA. Space waffle.
Strope waffle.
Strobe waffle.
Ignis Deus with a 45-month resub. That's almost 4 years.
Zorlundra for 54 months.
The Borzai for 6 months says, I never know what to type here, so instead I'll just inform you that I found a peanut in my beard.
What luck. Leo Redcap with an 8-month resub.
Were you
Welcome
eating
back.
peanuts recently?
I hope so.
Eli Aaron for 21 months. I had a witty musical theme thing, but I couldn't remember the name of the classical music piece.
Shadow
Sorry.
Bow 464 for 19 months says, there's a squirrel in my house.
Don't cry about it. Everybody will want one. Orion Pax 21 with a 20-month resub.
Jay Karkov for 53 months. I, for one, welcome our dolphin overlords. Hashtag Douglas Adams Universe.
Furby Breath for 14 months says, Happy Family Day, not for us.
Which joke to Emily? Clubly 2 with a 7-month resub.
Crelia for 3 months.
It's Bourgeois, isn't it?
Manos Hands of Fate for 6 months says, no step on snack.
Beachy Prieto with a 15-month resub. 15 months of great comedy. Thanks for getting me and my wife into magic. Bye-bye, money.
Oh.
There it goes.
Polar Warden is a new subscriber. Thank you for your service in our polls.
Oh, and 201 bits from Earthen One, Rock Pusher, and Xantos69.
Yay! All right, so coming up in a mere 1 hour and 45 minutes. Yeesh. I do have stuff to do.
Okay, cool.
Borzoi, like, to 1 hour and 45 minutes, Dice Friends, featuring us three and Beige, who's just out there. Yeah, that's why I'm like, oh, because I have stuff to do. We're gonna do Dice Friends, and that's gonna be episode 5 of Escape from Samolo Plateau.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting.
Samolo Plateau is in our rearview mirror, which we have.
We finally got away.
And so who knows where we're going to be escaping from next.
Right.
Anyway,
Good question.
Maybe necromantic homework.
I can't wait to find out.
all right. And then tomorrow for New Day Tuesday, Cam is going to be playing the new Civ expansion,
Ooh, yes.
which will be sweet. And James is going to be doing some PUBG. And then Adam is going to be finally playing Monster Hunter on stream. He's been playing a lot at home, but then he was sick, and so he hasn't been able to play it on
Sinus
stream.
infection.
Yeah.
But now he's going to play it on stream. His triumphant return.
Hooray!
So thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you in a bit.
Bye.